your topic to us. Just very briefly, go through the four main points. What were your objectives? A little bit about the process, and then a little bit about your reflection. What did you learn at the end?
So I do this research because cyber stability and the cyber attack is getting more important, and the attack is increasing. So I want to use machine learning and algorithm called random forest to deal with this problem. And the learning process is tough, I think. At first, I can't find a suitable resource to my research, and so how do I solve this problem? Is my teacher helped me to give me some advice to find some research for me, and find some resource for me, and told me some skills for finding the resource. And the second is to find a data set for training the model. So, and the second problem I face is the model training process. And this process is that the result I got 100% accuracy at first. And I give it to my teacher, and I just tell him that I have trained my model successful, and he just told me that it's abnormal, the result is abnormal, and he just told me to find the problem. So first I don't know anything, so yeah, I just.
Of course, you're very happy that it says 100%, right?
So I just keep finding the problem, and finally I have searched some. I find the problem is called overfitting.
Okay.
So.
But what does that mean?
Overfit is because the machine learning is based on the model training, and use this model to have a result for what I do. And so the overfit is because the model, just like we have a test when we at school, and if we have already saw the test before we having an exam, then we can just know and observe about all the questions. So if we do the exam, we will have probably 100 or 90.
Yeah.
It's high school.
I see. So you're feeding it the answers before it does the test. I get it. Okay.
And what I learned is first to find a source by myself, and second is to train a machine learning model and learn some machine learning skill and knowledge. And last, I think I can do more about this research, I think, using another algorithm.
Okay, great, thank you. So I have a few questions because this is not really my area of expertise. In fact, I know very little about this topic. So I have some simple questions for you, but before I get to that, so what's your motivation to do this learning, self-learning project that you did? Why are you so motivated to learn about this?
Just I have mentioned a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it's a common problem, but
Yes.
why specifically for you? Why do you want to be the person to learn about this?
Because this is my hobby, and I want to solve this social
types of websites or types of apps that get attacked more, or is it just everything gets attacked?
I think the attack goes worldwide. Every country have same just main attack.
Who are the usual targets for attack? So all people, or students, old people, married people, single people, children? Who, or is it everyone gets attacked?
Very much can problem.
Okay. Okay, so a couple of more specific questions about your project. If you could tell me very simply, what is machine learning? What does that mean?
Okay, machine learning is
Is it like AI?
is a part of AI.
Okay.
And let me have an example.
Okay, perfect. Just pretend I'm a 6-year-old child who needs to learn something very simple.
So we first need to have a data set.
Yeah.
So we can just like what I mentioned, we are in class, and first we probably should take a
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And after we take the course, we should have an exam to know what we learned and how what we didn't really learn it.
Yeah.
So machine learning is the model is just like the student, and the data set is just like what teacher teach. So maybe the label of the data set is what the teacher teach, and the data set is like the book the teacher have.
Okay.
So we learn and take the exam. And
Yeah.
taking the exam is just like the model training session, and after we train the model gives us a result, and it's a plot that have accuracy and precision and recall and reference score.
Okay.
And this 4 index is just like the exam score.
Yeah.
How we got, and
Okay.
so we can have an result, and we can know what the student can know what they learn, just like the model. We
So the
can,
machine is learning.
yeah, we can know what model
Yeah.
and what it is not really known.
So do you need to continue to update it, or will it learn by itself to stop these attacks or find the attacks?
If these two, they have two.
Yeah.
The one machine learning, we need to keep giving
Yeah, the input.
and
Yeah.
the one you mentioned is deep learning.
Oh,
We
okay,
can learn
that's
by
something
itself.
different. I see. Okay. Okay, thank you. So talk a little bit about your results. So at the end, you have learned about all of this, and now you have these results. So what can you do in the future? Where can you go from here?
I can probably do more research about this field
Yeah.
and give a suggestion, like using more algorithm and find the most suitable one for the process grouping elements, and to give a suggestion to the other researchers.
Okay, thank you. So I have a totally different question, because you are doing this topic in English. So when you were younger, did you start to learn this in Chinese, or is this a topic that's easier to learn in English? Because what I mean by that is because, this is an international problem, right? And English is mean, the terms you are using are very challenging terms. Most students in Taiwan will not know the terms that you are talking about, the very specific scientific type terms, right? So I'm a little bit curious about your interest using English to talk about this topic.
I learned this, first I learned this by Chinese.
Okay.
When I grew up in high school, I sometimes used just find English papers
Yeah.
to learn and some web platform and is using English to teach us
Okay. So have you been studying English for a long time? Do you go to cram schools, or is most of your English just from the public school?
I have when I am in elementary school. In 6 years, I have courses and this foreign.
Yeah.
Just like you.
Okay, so you have a chance to practice, okay. So how about in the future then? Now you are in senior high school, right? Is this a topic that you want to, or not topic, is this a field that you want to continue to study, like go to university and maybe work? What are your future plans?
Yes, I want to keep doing this and because this is my hobby.
Yeah.
I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
So what kind of job can you do in the future with this knowledge or this skill?
Maybe an engineer, and I will prefer to be like analyze just like what I do right now, writing AI and training the machine learning algorithms.
So what's your prediction in the future with AI and this topic? Will AI be able to do this on its own in the future, or will you always need people to continually give the input?
I think it cannot do it by itself because the AI has some disadvantage like reasoning.
Yeah.
And so I think we should have to keep teach the AI how to learn and to give it more data sets to let it learn by itself.
Okay. In your report, actually, one of the terms that I read, and I have no idea what it means, so I thought maybe you could help me to understand. It's cross-site scripting attacks. So what does this mean?
It's an injection attack, just like we will have some text box on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the attack is based on this text box.
Yeah.
We can write some JavaScript code on it and give me an inject. And the code is like this is alert and the and when we inject this,
Yeah.
we will come out with code, and
Yeah.
that is called cookies.
Yeah. It's
Yes, and the cookies is
5 minutes, right? Okay.
the cookies is user's private key.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can use that key to attack the users.
So can you give us some examples? What kind of attacks do people use? Because some of us don't even know what's happening, right? We just go on the computer, we use our Instagram or our TikTok or whatever we're doing. Can you tell us what are some common examples of attacks that we get? Like what are the kind of attacks that you will try to stop?
Can you
Yeah, so because you talk about this XSS, right? You are trying to stop attacks. Is that right? So what kind of attacks? Like what are the things that we should be worried about? What are people trying to do to us with these attacks?
So if you want to prevent an attack, you should have like strengthen your password.
Yeah.
Like you cannot just use like someone will use the birthday.
So I cannot use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's easy to it's vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, you can just easy to attack it and got your maybe private.
Yeah.
And maybe you can do this to I think
Okay.
this is
So
the
steal,
most-
basically to steal money, personal information, things like that, right? Okay, I think we got time for maybe one more question. Are there any questions from the audience before I ask my final question? Anybody feel brave enough to ask a question out there? Have you have any questions about cybersecurity or attacks on your personal information? Okay, so my last question for you then is about the learning process, because this is an independent study. So you are supposed to, on your own, find a problem, do the research, solve it, and then be able to report it. So in your opinion, how is this different from the normal classroom where the teacher just gives you the information and then you memorize it and then you pass the test? What's the main difference between the two?
The independent
Yeah.
one is more tough because we have any experience before and we don't know how to cut into what we need to do. So just and if we have teacher can give me all the stuff.
Yeah.
I can just do it, follow it.
Yeah.
And so independent can let me learn more and to know more about and do more what I want to do.
So if you had to say independent learning versus the traditional teacher type of learning where a teacher gives you the information, which one would you say will help you to remember the information longer?
Independent learning for
Independent? Okay, we got 1 minute left. So how about for motivation? Is it more motivating to learn it by yourself or to have the teacher tell you the information? So do you think throughout this process that you learned something about yourself, about your learning habits or learning strengths? Do you think that this was a positive experience for you? For sure? So now you know you will do this all the time. Okay, I don't think I have any other questions. Anybody from the crowd? Last chance? All right, well, let's give a big round of applause. I have to say, your explanations where you gave me those simple examples, they're very helpful, so thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And next, the topic is Michael Maya of Pyramid Reform. Let's welcome the students to share.
Sure, I have no idea. Should be okay. Tim, what do you need them for?
I was thinking about maybe read and to show you something.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you can bring it. It's fine.
It's okay.
Okay, so today's number 2, I did read your materials and I did watch your videos online. They were generous enough to share a completed video which had all of the narration about the Mayan pyramid and Minecraft. And then they also showed the video of how they use Minecraft to design the temple, which I thought was also very interesting. Minecraft, of course I know what Minecraft is, I've seen it, but I've never played it before. My son has played it before, so I know a little bit about it, and I know it's very popular with students and other people. And I know a little bit about the Mayan history, but actually I found that your talk was very interesting, so I'm looking forward to having this chance to talk a little bit more. But if you could, as in the first one, just explain a little bit about the process. So what were your objectives? And talk a little bit about the process, and then of course at the end, what were your final results, and talk a little bit more about the learning process, your reflection, things like that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so our project is that we reconstruct the famous Maya pyramids with the famous game Minecraft, and we also make a video to introduce the Maya civilization and the Maya pyramids. The idea of this project starts from a creative assignment history class. We are asked to choose a famous historic buildings, reconstruct it, and introduce the civilization and of the building. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the builder of the pyramid, and the first thing I do is go on the website to search for many image of the pyramid, so I can know what it looks like. Then I just go into Minecraft and try to rebuild what it really is like, and I run like back and forth to get a full view of it to check if it really looks like the pyramid.
For me, I am in charge of the production of the video, which includes narrative, video script writing, and also subtitle. My first step of my project is to do the research about Maya civilization. To do the research, I look into various online sources, such as blogs, news, and even YouTube videos. Then, after I gather enough information about Maya civilization, the next step I did is to organize all the information I gathered with a mind map application called Cargo. Cargo allows me to eliminate unnecessary information and just keep the most important information for the video. After I organize the information, the next step I did is to write a video script. Writing a video script is not easy, but with my English teacher Jeannie's help, the process of it is got much more quicker. After the video script is done, then the final step was narrating and subtitling. Although narrating and subtitling do take me a lot of time, I finally finish it with a lot of patience, time, and effort. This is our process, the whole process
Yeah.
of our project.
Okay. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the reflection. So what did you learn? What was challenging? If you had to do it again, what would you do differently?
Okay, sure. So we will answer your first question.
Yeah.
Challenge first.
Okay.
Please.
Challenge. So the first challenge I faced is when I was trying to construct the inside of the top temple. I can't find any information about what's inside. So yeah, I kept searching for like 20 to 30 minutes. Nothing came out. So I actually used ChatGPT to help me look for any information. I was hoping to get an image, but all it gave me is a description about what's inside, and all it says is there's a table in the temple, and it's used for
sacrificing food for their rain god Kukulkan.
Yeah.
Then no more. So yeah, I was.
What do you think is the reason for that? Why can't you find an image? Are people not allowed to take?
Yeah, people are not allowed to go inside to talk to them.
Nice.
Since there was accident, like someone fall down and did.
Okay.
So all I do, so only thing I can do is just build a really simple table in the middle of the room. Yeah. Then I go focus on the other parts. And the second challenge I face is when I was building this like here walls over here. I found out in the picture they are actually not 90 degrees, they are now vertical. So, but due to the structure, like, you know, like Minecraft, there are no blocks, so it's literally too hard for me to achieve the angle. So, I decided to change it to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
For me, I also faced two biggest challenge during my part of the project. The first challenge is just like I have mentioned before, is how is the condensation of the information. I have to delete the unimportant, unnecessary information and keep the most important points for my video. And just like I have mentioned before, just 5 minutes before, I used a mind map application called Coggle to solve my problem. The next challenge we faced was the unfamiliarity with the video editing process. It has been approximately 5 years since that time I made a video my own. So the video editing process is really a big challenge for me. I solved it by paying a lot of time and effort to explore and learning the video editing skills. I focus on building a solid foundation rather than just rushing for the progress. Eventually, I become a kind
Video
of
expert.
video expert.
Okay.
And for the learning, I definitely learned much about the Maya civilization and Maya pyramid. But also I have learned like the researching skills, how to gather the information we need, and also very importantly, how to identify whether this information is reliable, accurate, or not. And also,
Can I jump in? So what strategies did you use to verify the information?
to ensure the information is reliable,
Yeah.
you had better check if their other resources have also provided the same information, and to double make sure it, we also get consult our history teacher to
Okay.
check.
Okay. So I think so. What kind of websites will you trust more than other types? Like for example, if it's a blog, is that very trustworthy, or did you use Wikipedia? Can you trust that? What did you find is a better source for information?
I think if the source is reliable, a reliable source should include the creator, the writer of the article, and also the date. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So if you were to do this project again, what would you do differently? Is there anything that you, because of the learning process, is there something that you would try, go in a different direction, or don't waste so much time doing something? What would you try differently?
We will plan a detailed and clear schedule first.
Yeah.
For example, we will for sure set time limits
So
for
did
each
you
part of
finish
the
everything too late because it took longer than you thought?
Yes, we underestimate some text will take how much time.
I can imagine the video and doing the subtitles probably took you a lot longer than you
Yes.
thought, right?
It took me a whole Saturday. I originally think it will just take about 3 hours to 4 hours.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask you some specific questions then about the content inside. So why did you choose the Mayan pyramid? I know you mentioned this was part of your history class, but what about that particular topic made it interesting that you wanted to study?
there are other famous ancient buildings like the Rome
Yeah.
and the Egyptian pyramid.
Yeah.
However, before we choose the topic, we have actually heard about Maya civilization,
Yeah.
Maya pyramid, and its most famous, Maya's foretelling about the doomsday.
Yeah. The end of the world.
Yeah, the
Yes.
end of the world. And to us, Maya civilization is bizarre and mysterious.
Okay.
As a result, we choose the Maya pyramids as
Yeah.
our topic.
So where did you get the idea to connect Minecraft to history?
It is a part, it's the,
So actually, we think like we never go to this structure visit it.
Yeah.
So keep looking at their image is boring.
Yeah.
So we decided to build it in Minecraft because building the structure in Minecraft is like making a 3D model, and while you're playing in this world, you can also experience how it feels like walk inside the building. Yeah. So I think it's really cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Very interesting. Maybe can you guys tell me a little bit about your partnership, because I can tell you had two very distinct roles, right? One of you is the Minecraft person, the other one is more the video. I know that you work together, but how did you plan for your partnership, and how did it go? Did you work well together? Did you have some difficulties?
okay. So our adaptation of the work is simply based on team members' personal strength.
Yeah.
Pacer, he's an experienced Minecraft player, and he knows a lot about building techniques in Minecraft. So he is undoubtedly in charge of the construction of the Maya pyramids. As for me, a person who cannot even Minecraft, is undoubtedly in charge of the production of the video. For the disagreements, we actually never had disagreements because both of us are familiar with each other's areas of work. Just like I mentioned just 1 minute before, I cannot even enter Minecraft or build a simple house.
Yeah.
So not to mention that I have disagreement with someone who can build the magnificent
Yeah.
Maya pyramids.
Okay, thank you. I have a specific question about the snake shadow. So I know maybe this is difficult to show in the Minecraft video, right? But in real life, so tell me a little bit about this, because this is the thing that you research, right?
Yes.
So tell us, how does the shadow come? What is its purpose? What does it mean? And does it really look like a snake's shadow? Because it's very significant, right, for
Yes.
the Mayan people.
The snake shadow appears at the equinox of spring and autumn,
Yeah.
and it represents the time, the reminder of Maya people to harvest. In Maya people's eyes, they think that the snake is the god Kukulkan. They are reminding them to harvest quickly. And for the reason the shadow appear, I don't really get into the reason. I don't really look into it. So, but my guess is that there are like the block,
Yeah.
the block some area, so the shadow will appear.
Yeah.
And the snake, I cannot sure that if the shadow is really like a snake, but from a picture I got, it look really like a snake. Like it is a very long shadow.
It's along the
Yeah.
whole building,
Yes,
right?
along the whole building.
Yeah. And then isn't there a head at the bottom?
Yes.
But the head is the stone, right? Is that right?
Yes.
So actually, one more thing about the content. I found the statistics that you provided very interesting about how many steps, and then how many sides, and then maybe you can explain it for us, if you remember. So there are how many stairs?
Oh,
90.
91,
So,
right? And
yes.
how do they get those numbers?
Do you mean how to why 91?
Yeah, what do those numbers mean? Like, why is it 91 stairs?
Oh, okay. So there are 91 stairs on the four sides of the Maya pyramids, and if you times 91 four times, you will get 364. 364 plus the step, the top altar
Yeah,
will be 365.
yeah.
And 365 is easily associated with the number of day in a year.
And then 91 stairs is 1 plus,
2 plus 3 until plus 13
yeah, and then 13 times 4 sides
is
is,
32. Also, the number of weeks in a year.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stats. So do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think they really planned it that way?
I think they really played it that way because the Maya people is really smart.
Highly intelligent, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the same question that I asked the other group. This is an independent learning project, right? Typically in class, the teacher is at the front and they give you the information and you write it down and then you have to memorize it and then you have to pass the test. But in this case, you are doing the learning on your own. So compare the two ways. What do you think was the difference? Do you think it was better? Do you think it was harder? Do you think it was more fun to learn on your own, or do you still prefer the teacher to just give you the information?
For me, I think it is really fun to learn. Probably because I love playing.
Yeah.
So for
So
me,
the teacher will not let you do that during your
Yeah.
class, right?
it's impossible to. The teacher will let you play games in the school.
Yeah.
So what I do, I just go search, then just keep playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun, and also it made me remember the structure. Yeah.
Sure. So I think that's the question I want to ask first for the Minecraft side, because you need to design the actual building that you are learning about. So did this using Minecraft help you to really learn about the actual content that you're supposed to learn about the Mayan pyramid? So using Minecraft, did that help you to learn about this particular content?
I think Minecraft helped me remember like what the structure looks
Yeah.
like, and when I was researching, I will also know more information that is not in the textbook about the culture and the structure.
Right. Okay. How about for your part?
As for me, independent learning is very special because I finally became the main character of my learning. I get to choose what I want to learn, not just like the ordinary school, which you have to follow the teacher.
Yeah.
Yes,
So do you think that the learning is more effective when you did it by yourself? Like, do you think this information that you learned will last for a longer time?
yes, definitely, of course, because you choose what you want to learn, so you are more motivated to learn well, look into deeper information.
Okay, great. Are there any questions from the class out there? Yes, thank you.
Do you think you use Minecraft in other aspects of learning?
Good question.
Minecraft, they have the game studio mode, and they also have like another version of Minecraft. It's called, I kind of forgot the name. It's so that Minecraft version that is used for students. They also, like in some countries, they have the game to let students play in class and let them learn about programming.
So there's a specific module for students in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And what are some other like topics that you could, like, just to add on to her question? So if it's for students, then what kind of topics or what kind of things do they learn? Do you have any knowledge or idea about this one?
Program.
Programming.
Yeah, actually I have seen, so I know. It teaches you programming.
So coding, programming,
Coding.
skills like that. Okay. All right, I guess we're out of time. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you for sharing. Okay.
If you have a chance to watch their video, you should watch it. It's very entertaining.
And that's why about logical, the starch effect. Let's welcome. We're looking for your sharing.
Hi, and welcome. So, same thing, I'll have you just introduce your topic first and talk through the topic, why did you choose it, a little bit about the process and your results, and then at the end, a little bit about the reflection, those 4 key areas of the plan. And, maybe you can talk about what you learned or some challenges if you want along the way.
So we chose this topic is basically due to personal preference. Me personally really like drinks with bubble, so we chose biology. In the research, we took the amylose to amylopectin ratio, the gelatinization characteristics, and nutritional component as the entry points. And to reach these points, we conducted a simplified elasticity experiment and a toughness experiment, and analyzed the collinear relations from the data we got between those physical prosperities. And we also conducted a big data statistical survey to further prove our conclusions.
In the whole process, there were a lot of challenges and fun stories. Although we experienced a lot of failures, including our experimental results didn't match the series, we still conduct a completely innovative experimental pressure device. Through this impressive experience, we learned about the teamwork and how to balance the schoolwork and this project, which will benefit us for a lifetime.
Okay, thank you. So I have a lot of questions. I found this topic really interesting because for me, this is something that I think everyone in Taiwan enjoys, right? Most students enjoy to have some kind of bubble tea, bubble milk, bubble whatever. They like that. And as someone who's not from Taiwan, I'm always curious about this topic because it's not something that's so popular where I come from. So I'm always interested. First, I would like to ask about the name. Bubbleology,
Yeah, biology.
Bubbleology, yeah. So where did you get the name from?
We didn't have that interesting name at first.
Yeah.
So like, if we want to attract other people's eyes, we need to have a special or
Yeah.
outstanding name. And we think that like if it is something we really enjoy, we really like, and we value it, attach importance to it, maybe we could regard it as a kind of learning. So we combine bubble and ology. So
Biology.
yeah.
Okay. I got it. It's very clever. I just wondered where you got it from. Okay. So I know from watching your video and reading your materials and also listening to you talk outside earlier that you designed your own measuring tool. I have a few questions about this, but first of all, how did you design this tool on your own app? Like, how did you do it? Did you just Google it, or did you just on your own design it, or talk to your teacher? Or maybe talk about this a little bit.
Actually, in our research, we noticed that people always describe the bubble's texture in a subjective word because the deformation of bubble is too subtle to measure with a regular ruler. We thought of the vernier caliper we had seen in our junior high school physics textbook, which can measure to 0.1 millimeters. But the vernier caliper has a groove at the top and the bottom. If only placed a bubble directly on it, it will cause that the middle is deformed but the ends remain intact. So we sort of put a petri dish at the bottom to make the bottom a flat surface, and attaching a credit plate to make the top a flat surface and square. And as for why we use 15 bubbles on the petri dish is that if we use one bubble on the petri dish, when it is under pressure, it may slide, causing its deformation degree, and the pressure data do not match the data it should originally present. So the reason why we use 15 bubble is that it can not only enhance our research efficiency, but also reducing the relative sliding between the bubbles, which can make our research more accurate.
Actually, firstly, we didn't talk of vernier caliper.
Yeah.
We need to measure how the distance and the pressure. So we think of something like a syringe
Yeah.
for injection.
Yeah.
However, there's a hole down there to
Yeah.
inject into something. So we thought
That
of a
would
similar thing.
affect the shape of everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought of that.
So I have a lot of I think that's really amazing that you designed this tool by yourself. But I have a lot of questions about the taste. So first of all, you are trying to objectify something subjective, right? I find this very interesting.
Yes.
So first of all, what does, how can I ask this question? How do you define what tastes good when you talk about bubbles? What is the right elasticity, or how do you say it's good or bad in terms of taste? What's the final outcome that you're looking for?
We quantify this research into numbers,
Yeah.
like elasticity and toughness. But we found that the best elasticity is not the best taste, but the cassava bubbles is the moderate elasticity
Yeah.
and the moderate toughness. And we finally carried out a big data survey.
Yeah.
We invite 100 people,
Yeah.
including 80 students and 20 teachers. They span all age groups.
Yeah.
Even though our sample size of schoolwork project is inefficient, but the experimental tendency is obvious. At least 90% of people think the cassava starch made bubbles is the best taste than other types of starches made bubbles. So even though our sample size is small, but we think the representativeness of the big data survey is sufficient and has a clear polarity. So it can prove that our research is accurate and the mathematic and the logic.
So because again, this is not really a topic that I'm so familiar with. First question, I have so many questions. Do all the starches taste the same? I don't mean the consistency, I mean the actual taste. Not they don't taste the same. So the one that was the best, was it because of the taste, or is it because of the elasticity or toughness? Or do you think it's both together? Both?
Because the taste will influence the texture, otherwise the texture will influence the taste.
Right, so it's very hard to separate the two, right? Okay. Okay, so you mentioned that your results didn't match the theory.
Yes.
Okay, so explain that one to me.
We found that when the sweet potato starch made bubbles turned out harder
Yeah.
than our expectation,
Uh-huh.
even though its molecule structure was similar to the cassava starch.
Uh-huh.
We looked deeper. We bubbles framework. This is also the details that earlier series missed. And the gel network in the sweet potato starch is more compact than other types of starches bubble. So when we encounter a situation that the experimental results didn't match the series, we first conduct our research multiple times to ensure that our experimental result is accurate. And after that, we research extensively literature to see if there are any other key factors affecting the bubble's taste and the experimental results.
So you said the sweet potato starch will make it harder,
Yes.
and that's less popular if it's too hard, right?
It tastes like kind of like bread.
I get it. Okay, very interesting. So in the end, you have objectified taste, kind of, even though it's still a subjective thing, right? Because everyone will have their own opinion, but you
Yes.
have some. So do you think that people can actually, I don't mean people, companies who really sell these, could they use your results for their own tea that they make?
Our results is that bubbles made from cassava starch
Yeah.
is still the most popular.
Yeah.
So
Is that already the most popular kind?
yes, it's the most widely used.
So is it possible in the future that you could take your results and design a new type of bubble that nobody uses right now?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what we're kind of doing. We had two kinds of mixed starch.
Yeah.
However, it didn't appear that well.
Okay, so you have more work to do. You're not done yet. Okay. So my next question is the same question that I've asked everybody, because this is an independent learning project. Even though you probably got help, you said, from your teacher, I guess a lot of it you did on your own. So how will you compare this experience to, a lot of science classes, maybe the teacher will just tell you the information and you memorize it and then you have to answer the questions on the test. How would you compare the two different types? And you can talk about learning, did you learn deeper? You can talk about motivation, you can talk about long-term memory retention, anything you would like.
It's like easy question because what teacher is teaching you is what you gain passively.
Yeah.
You didn't actively to look for the information you need. You didn't do. Maybe you did. You do experiments with the help of your teachers, but like in our research, we design everything, including we set up evaluation system. We made the tools ourselves. Kind of design everything all by ourselves. So we learned a lot. Learned how to independently measure our times, balance schoolwork and our extracurricular things. So it's we did make good progress through it.
And actually, how to quantify our research is through talking with our chemistry teacher,
Yeah.
and he inspired us this idea. But we focused on our own creative ideas. Like she is an individual with a broad and innovative thinking approach, and responsible for design the pressure device. And for instance, for the quantitative problem solving, she proposed combining the mechanic tools with our pressure device. Also, she constantly based on our felt experiences and considering what else could replace it. And I am a person with meticulous and logic thinking. When our ideas is deviated from the reality, I will bring us back to the original check. And moreover, I'm good at writing papers and driving the whole process forward. So, for instance, I will make a time schedule to reminding us of the deadline of each test and enhance our
could talk, since you brought it up, a little bit about your partnership. So how did you two work together? Did you have set roles that you each played, or you just kind of worked together however randomly?
She's really, really good at writing, literature, and
Yeah.
Speaking. But for me, I just do practical experiments because I'm not good at writing.
Yeah.
I think words are just so annoying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I do the experiment part,
Yeah.
and if we have PowerPoint, I do the PowerPoint part. And we think of the evaluation system together, and she's for the paper writing.
Okay, so if you had to do something like this again, what would you do differently than this time?
We think we can improve our research further in the future. In the future, we will continuously investigate the effects of adding edible agents or adjusting the nutritional components on starch gelatinization and the texture of bubble. And we also hope to investigate the additives such as food colloids on the gel network. In the future, we want to further optimize this by integrating it with food engineering. And then we also hope to make a joint effort to improve the food ingredient, and we also looking forward to have a significant market value based on our research.
Great. So I'm going to go a little bit backwards. We have a little bit more time. I should have asked you this question in the very beginning. Because this was a research project, and for any good research project, you have to have some research questions or you have to have a problem to solve. And we always start our research with some prediction about what the results will be. So what was your prediction before you began? And then were you disappointed with your results? Did it come out the way that you wanted to, or did you hope for, or was your prediction different? Let me say one thing first. Every research project is like this, right? You make your prediction and then you run it. Maybe it will succeed, maybe not. That's why we do research, right? And then we try it again, we make changes. So yeah, you can tell me a little bit about that.
As a matter of fact, in our research, we faced the original 7 failures.
Yeah.
But it is due to the big gap between the experimental results and our expectation. We also felt frustration and confusion. But fortunately, we do encouraging each other to try again. And finally, we successfully designed a pressure device and transforming the objective taste into some numbers. From this experience, actually we learned a lot. This experience not only let us have the courage to try to make mistakes, not afraid of difficulties, but also train our own scientific thinking, and let us have a comprehensive and practical perspective in our life. We all think this precious harvest will benefit us for a lifetime. This is what we gain in the failure.
Great. Well, I want to say, because when you do research, most of the times you will have some failures. So the fact that you continue on, that's very important for next time, because you found out if you keep going, maybe you will start to have some success afterwards. So that's great. Okay, I know we don't have a lot of time left. Are there any questions from the crowd about their bubbles that they created for tea? No? All right. So let me go. I got one more technical type of question. In your report, you talked about the rebound time curve of the pearls. So why do I care about that when we're talking about taste?
Because when you taste the bubble, you chew it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't rebound that fast,
Yeah.
you can barely feel that.
Yeah.
So it is important when you taste it.
So it will just dissolve, basically, right? You chew it and then it will just go away, like chewing it and chew it and chew it and chew it and it just doesn't go away? Is that also a possible result?
Maybe, but not for. It's more like something that you can eat, like a.
Yeah.
But bubble is not that appropriate to be too elastic. You have to have a balanced elasticity.
Sure.
and
So
softness.
my question was, is it possible to have this failure? Okay, we're out of time, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
You answered my question anyways. All right. Thank you very much. I